For today's adventure, we're going to be at the Rochester Museum and Science Center, and we're going to take a look at and talk about Native American medicine masks. Let's get started. Okay, I want you to just bear with me for a moment and picture the following scenario. It's gonna go something like this. You're either at a thrift store of some type, or you're cruising around, you're visiting some yard sales, you're gonna see if you can pick up yourself a deal, or you even have somebody, a family member, a neighbor, actually give you an item that just seems like really, really cool. Now, in all of these instances, this item that we're going to talk about is a Native American medicine mask. Now, I'm not talking about some store-bought Native American medicine mask. I'm talking about ones that were handcrafted by actual medicine men, carved out of real wood. So you're pretty fired up about getting this artifact. It's kind of one of a kind. It's rare. It might even be worth something. So what you do next, you take it home, you put it on your wall, decent little conversation piece, and you enjoy it, and you almost kind of forget about it and call it a day. Now, all might be well for a little while. Then you begin to notice strange things actually start to happen. Things that just are off. They even seem paranormal in nature. It's kind of, slow at first. You get your cold spots. Maybe things begin to disappear and reappear in other places. Then it ramps up a little bit. You hear footsteps, knocking, all throughout the place that before you brought this Native American mask in was completely quiet. No evidence of any kind of paranormal goings on whatsoever. Then it really starts to pick up. The mask won't stay on the wall. You find it not only on the floor, which could be explained away by just the thing falling off the nail, but you find it in different parts of the house. About this time, you've definitely had enough, and you're looking to move on from this artifact, and it winds up pretty much right back where you found it. You either gave it to the person who you got it from, or you take it and you donate it to a thrift store. You don't even want to deal with selling it. You just want this thing out of your house, because now your house just went full-blown Amityville horror. Now, you wonder exactly what happened. Now, before I go too much further, I'm going to say this scenario likely applies to not just Native American medicine masks, but you could argue that some of the ones that you get from Africa, Hawaii, anything like that was crafted by a shaman for ritualistic purposes, and one that was likely used for such, or even battle, is probably charged with its own energy. Because when the shamans made these Native American masks, that's exactly what they did. First of all, they made them out of actual wood, and they did that because it was a living thing. And what is figured is the spirit, or diva, is actually attached to that artifact. Now, where does that take us with what we're doing today? So, Native American masks in particular have to be what's called fed. And this can be done usually by a shaman or a medicine man. Now, what is exactly meant by feeding a Native American mask, or any mask for that matter like that? You don't obviously give it food. They could use chants. They could take the rattles or the drums and actually feed it that way with the chants. They might use incense or sage to feed it with fire, which is generally the way I believe it's done. If this doesn't happen, it's said that these artifacts can get restless and can get a mind of their own and can make things miserable for their owners. Which brings us to the Science Center. Now, We all know how I feel about places of learning, schools, libraries, museums, any place like that. I believe any and all have some kind of paranormal energy attached to them. And you might be asking yourself, why? Well, it's because of all the artifacts. Now, particular history museums and science museums have artifacts like the medicine masks that are just supercharged with energy. And it's no surprise that if they're the ones at this science center weren't taken care of, these masks too would begin to get a mind of their own. So what has been talked about at the Science Center in regards to these medicine masks? Well, the glass cases where the masks are in have been known to be shattered. The masks have also been known to face different directions on their own. Another thing that tends to happen is the masks end up just coming off of their display and are found on the floor. Not on the floor outside of the case, on the floor on the display. Now, as crazy as it sounds, the masks have been found outside of the cases, and these are always typically the Native American masks. Again, you see all the masks that like the samurais used and the African masks used for rituals. Now, this same thing also tends to happen to them, but our focus is going to be these Native American masks. So what does the Science Center do to help, at least slow down some of this? Well, they actually bring in medicine men and shaman to come in there and perform their rituals and feed the medicine masks. Again, usually this is done with chanting. They do it with the rhythmic beats of the drums, the rattles, and they use either sage or some other type of incense to satisfy the spirits that are attached to the medicine masks. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go inside. We're going to actually show you these medicine masks. Now, they're really, really cool to look at. And this is going to be a showcase of the mask. And if I find other masks in here from like Africa and things like that, or from Asia, we're going to show those too. So let's go on inside and take a look. So we're at the Rochester Museum and Science Center, and I'm going to start off by saying this place is actually massive. Now, I'm not here to film the entire Science Center, of course, but while I'm here, there's something I would be seriously remiss if I didn't show you guys on the channel, so check this out. So yeah, I managed to actually sneak a woolly mammoth on my channel. How cool is that? Just to kind of let you know what we're looking at, these are musk ox. This is a male. Let's go over and check out this guy. I'm doing this because I can't be here and film and just completely ignore these things. Call it ADHD, call it what you will, but why not get it on the channel, right? North American elk, but this is just straight badass. No way I was gonna exclude this. Just check this guy out. Okay, that was seriously cool and quite the distraction. But now, let's get back to business and for the real reason that we're here. Okay, so initially I came here looking for examples of Native American medicine masks, and I've looked on both sides of the exhibit here and saw a lot of really cool Native American exhibits, but I couldn't find any masks until now. So there was no way I'm going to disappoint you, so I'm going to take you to where I found at least one Native American mask. Okay, so it's not the super ornate medicine mask or headdress that I was looking for, but at least we didn't leave here empty-handed and we did not disappoint. So this here is at least one example of a Native American medicine mask. Typically they, like I said before, typically they made out of real wood and they were used for ceremonial purposes. So the human face portrait masks of the Nukitan and Kuwati people of the Pacific Northwest coast are believed to have been carved in the likeness of chiefs and revered ancestors. So this is the one sample of a Native American mask I was actually able to come up with. So who knows if there's actually more this way, but this particular area seems like it's closed off for some kind of renovations. And one thing I'm not going to do is go past this gate to go in here and explore any further. So, but to make a long story short, this here is an authentic Native American medicine mask, and I'm feeling pretty lucky that I was able to actually find one for you guys here. I know there's many more samples of Native American medicine masks and headdresses that could be located anywhere, you know, possibly on reservation museums or the Buffalo Museum of Science or probably Ohio. But for the sake of this video, I'm feeling really good that I was actually able to come up with, at the very least, one to show you. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at this thing and I can feel the energy off of this, and it makes me wonder if sometimes when some folks come in here, they actually see this mask on the, you know, off of the mount somewhere down there in the glass, or possibly turned around, which is some of the claims. Other claims that people have are like shadow people, like going from place to place. But with a museum like this, a place of learning, with like all the artifacts that are here, that could stem from almost anywhere. But once again, I'm feeling really happy and glad that I was able to find at least one sample of a Native American mask for you guys. Now let me see if I can get actually closer to this, which is actually probably pretty cool. I can do it this way because you see the mask and you don't see just me holding the camera and the reflection of the glass. I wish there was more, but I'm going to be happy with what I found. So in keeping with that theme, here is a totem pole. Totem poles are usually made up of various totem or spirit animals that natives felt were their spirit guides. Even modern folks tend to have an animal that they feel is their spirit guide, but that's a story for a whole nother video. So we are going to go through a little bit of this here. Authentic Native American garments, outfits. And when you go in here, there's definitely a different feel. Seeing everything here is authentic, you can feel the spirits and whatever have you that's actually attached to all these artifacts. Any place you see that has a lot of artifacts does tend to kind of hang on to its own energy. There's just a lot of cool stuff here. I'm just happy I was able to find a medicine mask. But authentic garments like this here undoubtedly has its own energy to it. You can feel it. So in kind of keeping with that theme, here are some headdresses. Kind of the same concept. A lot of them were used for ceremonial purposes or rank. So I found this as really, really neat. Western Door Paranormal fans. This is basically what my paranormal group was named after, and it's still what my YouTube channel is named after. Western Door Paranormal Studies. I just think it's really, really cool that we have this here. And one more thing I want to get a look at that had my eye when we came in here is this right here. So while that's not an authentic head mask or anything like that, it is an example of Native American folklore and something that might have been worn. Basically everything here is at the Western Door, the Seneca Indians, Europeans, and Americans in the Genesee Valley. And that's the initial meaning behind Western Door Paranormal. I named it after this here for the spiritual connotations and the fact that this area, this Seneca area, was considered a gateway to the Western Door. Henceforth, Western Door Paranormal, and a slight nod, and a big nod actually, to Mason Winfield, because there was like 6 degrees of separation. I read his book, Spirits of the Western Door, and I took that and I was able to use that with his blessing to come up with the name Western Door Paranormal. It's catchy and it definitely stuck. And that'll do it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified when videos drop. And don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. And we will see you next time.